So you're from Portland.
From Portland.
Okay. So
During the Biden era.
during the Biden era.
Well, to be clear, yeah, I'm from Portland, born and raised. I was born in 79.
So you're born in Portland.
Born in Portland, born and raised, through the 80s and the 90s. So I'll say this, Portland is not the town that you guys hear of in the news. Growing up, it was one of the best places. I couldn't imagine growing up anywhere else. It was awesome.
Well, because like I told you, my daughter got a full ride to a college over there. Because she's crazy smart. And what I was saying about is it the ACT, SAT? I don't know. The national average is 17. My daughter scored her 28.
Okay, so that's the ACT.
The ACT.
Yeah, SATs is in the,
Oh, they're the ones that,
800s.
Yeah. She scored her 28, which is stupid.
Wow.
And so, and she's just a brilliant writer. And so she kept writing these articles, and they started getting picked up by magazines. Next thing I know, this college is contacting her saying, hey, if you come over here to our master's program, we'll pay for everything. She packed up and left.
Nice.
Yeah, I would have done the same. And I told her, I said, listen, you're going to Portland. You got to be careful over there. First off, I'm conservative, and I've raised my daughter to be conservative, who's really
Good on you.
she's more independent. She's that age. She's 33 now.
Okay.
But I've raised her to be conservative. And I said, you're going to Portland. You're going to like a liberal haven.
The Mecca.
Yeah, because Portland, Seattle, New York, San Francisco. I mean, these are liberal havens.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't want you, to lose who you are.
Yeah.
Because how many times have people gone away? I mean, hell, the guy that just broke into the Trump party.
Yeah.
I mean, dude's got a freaking master's in engineering or something.
I don't know anything about the guy, really.
Yeah, he's got a master's. And, and everybody, from what I understand, he was a normal guy, went off to college, fully indoctrinated when he got out. Yeah, fully indoctrinated. And then takes a shot at Trump. So I told her to, keep your wits about you when you get over there. Because everything I see in the news is, I mean, hell, there was just something last week about another ICE raid and people, trying to run them over with cars and everything. And of course, my daughter gets over there, sends me photos, and it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful over there.
In the Northwest, you mean Portland?
Yeah, in Portland.
It's gorgeous, man.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. And she's like, well, everything you see on the news isn't true. And I'm like, but I see an awful lot on the news. So I was talking to my wife about it, and it was right after you and I had met. And I said, you know what? I'm going to have him on a podcast because I want to know what Portland's like. So I'm just going to ask.
Okay. I'll tell you whatever you want to know, man. I mean, it's, I don't know how, so my wife, full disclosure, we're separated and divorcing on great terms, but both her and I come from Democrat families. Obviously, being in the Northwest, and we somehow resisted that. Thank God. But growing up in Portland, it's kind of like here. Everybody, most people here are on the right. They're conservative, right?
For the most part,
but they don't wear it on their sleeve. Well, that's how it was in Portland growing up in the 80s and the 90s. Everybody was a Democrat, but it wasn't radical. It wasn't crazy. And so I didn't even really pay attention to politics until really, I would say maybe when Bush Jr., then I started kind of paying attention to politics. So the early 2000s, and all my buddies are Democrats, and a couple of them are staunch. I mean,
hardcore
on the DEI. One of my good buddies of mine, he's on he's on these DEI boards, and he's drank the Kool-Aid, and he's such a smart guy too, which is crazy to me. But and he's got TDS and all that stuff too. But anyways, yeah. So back to Portland. It was hugely Democrat.
And still is. I mean, hardcore.
But now it's progressive though. It's that progressive takeover.
Yeah, it's gone full liberal over there.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't even say liberal. I would say progressive. Liberal. At least you can have a conversation with a liberal.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
But this progressive takeover is just it's melted some people's minds, and I don't get it. And like I said, he was the best man at my wedding. I've known him for 30 years now, a little over 30 years. We're still great buds,
of course.
We didn't let that get in the way of anything. Or at least he didn't let it get in the way.
So you're not Jimmy Kimmel,
right?
Yeah. I mean, he hates his own family if they're conservative,
right?
Yeah. So
it's so weird how that. So my wife's parents are Democrats, but I would say they're like uninformed Democrats, and they
a lot of them are
everything. They're the typical whatever they hear on CNN, they parrot it.
Yes.
They don't really believe it. They're just falling in line with their party or whatever. Lot of problems with them. Just the crazy thinking that they have,
which is insane.
It really is.
Yeah, it is insane.
I've been my wife and I and my kids have been kicked out of their house on, like, Thanksgiving, Christmas, 4 different times. One year it was both Thanksgiving and Christmas.
That's insane to me.
And it's like, why would you? And it's like, and my kids see this, and it's like you're kicking your grandchildren out too. Like, you realize, because if we go, they're coming with us.
Yeah,
yeah,
taking my kids.
We're not
not leaving them here to be indoctrinated.
So yeah, I mean, so I've had that happen to me firsthand. Where
that's crazy.
Where they just melt down. So they're parroting whenever they hear on CNN. They're just falling in line, and it's nonsense. The stuff they're parroting is just nonsense.
Well, and you say that because it's ironic. Because I was at work the other day, and of course, where I work at, and there was this black girl that came in there, probably in her early 30s, maybe late 20s, early 30s. And I don't know how the conversation got started, but somehow it kind of took a little political turn. And she was saying something, and me being who I am, I'm going to say it. I have no filter. If you get offended, sorry. That's your problem. That's not my problem.
Yeah, that's a you problem.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was like, well, you're not exactly correct on that. And she's like, what do you mean? So I start breaking down to her President Trump, President Biden, in simple terms, not because she's a simple person, but just not to get too in depth in it, too in depth. And it's pretty funny because this older lady came by me, and she stops and while I'm having this conversation with this girl, she puts her hand on my shoulder and she said, "Thank you for being educated." And she walks out the door. And I think that's what that ticked that young lady. And so she said, "Well, explain this to me." So I started explaining to her the differences between what a Republican, an independent, a Democrat is, a liberal, a conservative, and then you have the Democrat Socialist Party of America, which is what they should change their name to.
Really should,
because they're all freaking whack job. Timu Obama, Hakeem Jeffries. I mean they're all lost. They've all drank the Kool-Aid.
Yep.
And so as I got talking to her, and I said, you're actually not a Democrat. I said, because the first step is you've opened your mind. Because Democrats don't do that.
They don't
open their mind. I said, you're asking all the right questions. So I would consider you more of an independent than a Democrat. And then she kept talking, and I kept listening. I said, actually, you're more of a moderate Republican. I said, the reason you think you're a Democrat is because you're a black woman, and you've been told
that
you're supposed to be a black woman. And dude, I saw the lights go off right there.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah. And she's like, and I told her, I said, you know what you need to do? I said, the Democrat Party and the Republican Party, they have offices here, and they do these, get-togethers. I said, you need to go to one of each. And I said, and I want you to take note of how you're going to be treated at the Democrat place, as opposed to how you're going to be treated at the Republican place. Because at the Democrat place, you're going to be treated like a black woman.
That's right.
At the Republican place, you're going to be treated like an American.
That's right. Your identity is tied to your skin color.
Yes. And I said,
not being an American.
You're right. Crazy. Right. And I told her, I said, you're going to be treated so differently at the Republican place. I said, because here's the problem. I said, the reason we have racism is because of Democrats. They can't let it go.
That's right.
And not to get off our Portland topic, but just when you said that, it kind of spawned this. And I told her, I said, you being a black woman, and it's really interesting. And she said this to me, and I thought this was fascinating. She has a white mom and a black dad. And she said, the problem I've had my whole life is I'm not black enough to be black, nor am I white enough to be white. I said, that's actually pretty interesting. I've never really thought about that. I said, but
I've heard mixed people say that before.
Yeah. But I told her, I said, let me give you an idea. She said, what? I said, you identify as black. She said, yeah. I said, why don't you drop the African-American bullshit and just be an American?
There you go.
And she said, I didn't think about that. I said, that's why we have racism.
Yeah.
Because you're not African-American. Right. I'm not Scottish-American. I'm American. I said, just be an American.
Yep.
I said, go to the Republican rally. And I said, I guarantee you, when you go to both those little parties they have, I said, I guarantee you come out a Republican.
Yeah.
And I said, and a black female Republican is a very powerful thing.
Absolutely.
I said, so you need to think about what you're doing here.
That's right. No, good on you, brother.
Yeah. And I just, man, the light's going off in this girl's head because her whole life she's been a Democrat because that's what she was told.
Is tied to that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what she's been told.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
I just thought that was, interesting, you talking about your family and all that stuff, and then I just sparked that going on in my head with this girl who has the same problem. You know, she has friends who are Republican, friends who are Democrats, and she's always identified as a Democrat. But I think after our conversation, and she goes to, you know, to the Democrat Party, to the Republican Party.
Hopefully she follows through.
Yeah. I think she will, because, you know, I told her, I said, you've taken the first step to being an American. You've opened your mind.
Right on.
Because I don't believe Democrats are American. And
I would agree with you.
Yeah, for the most part. You know, I can't remember the Congresswoman's name, but she's today, she's doing this big thing because she's trying to get oil from Russia to Cuba. So she's trying to break through Trump's blockade. You know, that's treasonous. You know, yeah, that's absolutely treasonous.
You don't know her name?
I can't remember her name. Let me take a look real quick on here, because this was on the news today when I had to get up this morning and run those errands. Let me see if they've talked about this. Another massive rally, California. Wow, go figure.
Is she trying to do? Is it like a humanitarian thing for Cuba?
No. She's saying that we're being mean and we're creating an existential crisis in Cuba. Well, you know what? Cuba has an evil regime.
Yeah,
they're communist.
Right.
For
decades.
Not our problem.
Right.
I'm sorry, not our problem.
That's right.
They don't have it. They were talking about it on the news this morning, but they don't have it here on Fox News is what I was listening to, so I don't see it here. But you know, I'll keep checking as we talk. But anyway, back to Portland.
Yeah, okay.
So my daughter sends me a, you know, she's like, Dad, everything you see on the news is not true. This isn't happening here. We're having no problems. And then the very next day after I get that text, you know, I'm watching news and people trying to run over the ICE agents in Portland.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, you know, and then my daughter, obviously, she loves her dad. She's not going to lie to me. And she's probably in a different part of Portland to where she's not she's not seeing this. But this has to be going on in Portland because the news feeds are constant coming out of there.
You know, I'll have to ping some of my buddies back home and see, because they're all still, well, one of them lives in a smaller town outside of Portland, but he's still plugged in. I know he's working in Portland. He's an electrician, but my other buddy is in Iceland. The guy I was telling you about, the best man. But I want to ask him, like, what actually is going on. I want to hear his perspective. I want to know. I'm going to do a little studying, and I want to see like what he tells me, like if he's going to tell me the whole story or if he's going to, you know, take the typical left position.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Which if he's a leftist, he will.
He will. No, he will. I know
he will.
I mean, if we brought up his Facebook page, it's full of DEI, and I mean, it's just, it's bro. He's such a smart guy too, man. It's crazy to me.
Well, dude,
he's that smart, but that's stupid.
Okay, my singer.
I love the guy to death. Hey, you're not stupid, Cole. Love you, buddy.
Yeah. Well, in case in point, my singer, who's one of my best friends, she's got a doctorate in English. Been in the teaching world her whole life.
Yeah.
Super liberal.
Yeah.
I mean, insanely freaking liberal.
Isn't that wild?
It is.
Why in education? Why?
Because, you know, education's always been to the liberal side.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but why? You know, you hear some conspiracy theorists say it's an evil plot to, you know, get in the minds of the children and mold them.
It is, but
right? Yeah,
it is.
I'm not denying that.
Yeah. But I don't know why education specifically. Why?
Right.
What got this started? I know the teachers union is very, very big, and anything that's on the government dole, as the teachers union is, usually leans Democrat because the Democrats will flood money to them because they're a massive voting bloc.
Follow the money. That's a good point.
Yeah. Massive voting bloc. The teachers are, but she is crazy intelligent. And her husband, my buddy Mark, that I trained with, hardcore Republican.
Wow.
Yeah, how they make this work is beyond me, man. And I love them both to death. I mean, shit, we go on vacation together. We go to Daytona for Bike Week together.
Wow.
You know, and when we're all together, we do not talk politics because we're all friends. We all love each other. You know, Mark texts my wife. I text his wife. You know, we're all buds. And so we keep the politic part of it very separated because the fact that we are friends. And this is something that I've always known about Republicans. I can overlook your liberalism. A liberal cannot overlook my conservatism.
They can't do it, brother.
No, it's impossible.
They won't.
No, they won't. Just like you said, you've been kicked out of family events because of your conservative beliefs.
Right.
You know, and they won't. And I've always said this, that, and I truly, truly believe this. If I'm going down the road and I see somebody with a Joe Biden shirt on with a flat tire, I'm going to stop and help
100%.
him.
Yeah.
But if he's going down the road and I have on my Trump shirt, Dude, he's
your
going
MAGA hat.
he's going to throw his cup of Coke at me out the window,
right.
and then flip me off, and say, you got what you deserve.
Yeah.
And there's a massive difference between the two sides
So
for
true,
that,
man. Yeah.
And then
so many instances of that, like people doing that. It blows me away.
Well, and coming from Portland,
yeah,
you have to be, being that it is a liberal haven. I mean, you have to it has to be everywhere.
It is. Once you step out of the city, though, once you get out of Portland proper, it gets red real quick.
As most states do.
Most metropolitan areas are going to lean pretty hard.
Well, because of the money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is that I think we need to take the liberal word out of that, and Portland is more progressive.
I agree with that.
Okay. Yeah. There are some liberals, but it's this leftist progressive takeover.
You're right, because Bill Maher is a liberal.
He is a liberal, right?
And I love watching Bill Maher.
So do I, man. Like, he makes good points.
He does.
And he does have some TDS.
He does have some TDS. I think a lot of it went away when he went to go interview President Trump. And of course, his whole party got mad at him when he come back and said, shit, he was a great guy. Yeah. He was funny. He was very gracious.
Yeah, they were mad at Bill for not stepping in line with the rest of them and demonizing the guy.
And
said he's like, no, he was a good dude.
Yeah, he's a good dude. And the funniest thing about that, out of all that, was he took that list of all the names that Trump had called him.
Yeah, that's right.
And Trump signed it and gave it back to him.
Classic.
But to me, that is how it should be.
Yes.
You can have your difference of opinions. You can argue. Don't fight about it.
Well, see that, and that's another thing and I got this firsthand. Sure. I got this firsthand is the shouting down. Okay. They won't let you make your point. They'll try to talk over you. They'll shout you down with whatever talking point they heard that they're going to parrot. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Or they'll just flat out start attacking your character, like taking it out of politics and just focusing on you and trying to dehumanize you.
That's what they always do.
That's what they do. And I've had that happen to me so many times in Portland.
Oh, I've had that happen to me here.
Really?
Yeah, I was when I used to manage those restaurants. Had this guy come in. I don't know how I end up on political conversations with people because people don't walk in. I'm like, are you Republican or liberal? I don't do that. Right. It just always takes that turn somehow. Something gets said, and I'm like, it's not really how it works.
You just have to correct them.
Yeah, I have to. I have to. It's in my blood. I have to. Right. And I don't want people to be stupid.
You're educating.
Exactly. I don't want them to be stupid. I want people to be smart.
You're the educator.
So, and so then we start talking. Somehow he gets instantly on the housing boom that blew up, that Bill Clinton and the Democrats with Frank Dodd put all that stuff into process. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, knowing that you cannot subprime all these houses that at one point it's going to blow up. And he's like, well, George Bush, if he hadn't started, and I was like, whoa. Mm-hmm. So I corrected him.
You're just getting the facts straight.
Yeah. Yes. Well, it wasn't George Bush. Actually, it was Bill Clinton. And I started going through all the stuff. This guy lost his shit standing in the lobby of our restaurant. Started screaming at me, pointing his finger at me, telling me I'm an idiot, cussing me up and down. And had we not been at work, I'd have stomped a mud hole in his ass. But considering that I was, because there's nothing I can do there because we can get in trouble.
You got to hold your composure.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, well, I hate that we're disagreeing, but you're welcome to leave the establishment. And he did. He had his little temper tantrum and he took off. Yeah. Because like I said, I don't want people to be stupid. And the fact that you came from Portland, I couldn't do it. I don't even know if I can go to Portland.
My sales pitch is it's a beautiful area. Just don't spend too much time in Portland. Okay, Portland itself is not a beautiful city. It's not some immaculate city, but it's the Pacific Northwest.
Yes.
So let me give you a little geography.
It's lovely over there.
Let me give you a little geography. So you got Pacific Ocean. So you got Oregon beaches, right? So you got the ocean, which Oregon beaches are not pretty. It's cold. It's wet. It's brown sand. They're ugly, in my opinion. But if you like the ocean, it's got the ocean.
Yeah.
It's got that amenity. And then you start working your way inland. Immediately, you're into the coastal mountain range, which are not real big mountains, but it's some pretty good sized terrain. And then you got the Willamette Valley, which is where Portland and Seattle sit.
Right.
So you get all that's why it's so wet. It's because it's sitting in a valley. All that coastal
Right.
climate comes up the gut there, and so you get all that rain. Portland, Seattle, and then you keep moving further east, and you hit the Cascade Mountain Range. Beautiful. I mean, you got like Mount St. Helens, Rainier, Hood, and then there's a bunch of other smaller ones, but so pretty good size. Mount Baker up north, but beautiful, great skiing. And then once you cross over the Cascades, it stays high desert. So at any point during the year, you can snow ski year round. You can water ski year round. You can do any sport year round within 2 hours of Portland,
like you can in California.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there you go. And it's in the high desert's beautiful. 300 plus days of sunshine a year. And then the mountains, of course. So it's got a lot of terrain, hiking, outdoorsy stuff, camping, hunting, all that kind of stuff. So that's always been my sales pitch, is that you can from Portland proper, and within 2 hours you can do anything all year round. So it's got that going. Just stay out of Portland.
Yeah,
or go experience it and get the shirt or whatever.
I would get the shirt. I would definitely like to go over to Portland, but they are. I'm so. It's kind of like, I've been to New York 7 times, and I love New York. I wouldn't go up there now to save my life.
You're talking city?
Yeah, the city.
I've never been to New York.
Manhattan. Yeah, it's an amazing place. The food is just phenomenal. And even when I was going up there, because actually it's been a long time since I've been up there, but I did go up there right after the World Trade Center was attacked. Because I wanted to see that, and I got to talk about heart-wrenching. Oh my God, it rips you apart. Because I was there when all the rubble was there. They had everything blocked off, and all the machines moving everything out. But I haven't been up there in years because it has gotten so liberal. I wouldn't even know how to act.
Progressive.
Yeah, it's gotten so progressive. I wouldn't even know how to act up there, and I need to go over and see my daughter, and I'm going to go see my daughter. But I'm like, I was telling my wife, I was like, God, I don't even know how to act when we get over there.
So, and I will say, be cautious, man, because people will accost you. Quite a few examples during COVID, the whole mask thing, right? I played the game for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then finally I was like, all right, enough of this mask business, I'm not some like anti-masker, but.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I can't tell you how many times in public I was screamed at for not wearing a mask. I mean, people in front of my kids yelling, dropping F-bombs, yelling.
Oh, I believe it.
You know what I mean? So you do have to be careful up there because people, they think they have a license to correct you in a very rude way.
Yeah. See, and I kind of worry
guys
about
like us,
that.
we're not going to take that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's because you're from Portland, so in 3 years you've been here, but welcome to the land of the free.
Oh, I love it, brother.
Yeah.
Love it.
Because it has to be the difference has to. it has to be stunning. The difference between this and Portland, it has to be like, oh my God, I can breathe.
I'm telling you. I made the joke when I first got here. I'm like, gosh, everybody's like 40% nicer here. But I'm serious.
40%. Yeah. Not quite 50%, but 40% nicer.
and I mean it though. Like I joke about it. It's funny, but it's true.
It's in the South.
It's we're in the buckle of the Bible Belt, right?
Yeah.
Tennessee
absolutely.
is, right?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
And my family were very spiritual. I wouldn't say religious, spiritual, but believers. And so that's nice.
Yeah.
It's not that Portland was voted for like a decade straight it was in like number one, and I don't somebody can fact check me on this, and I don't know exactly what the sources were, but the most godless city in the U.S.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And like I said, somebody's going to have to check where that is, but that's a real thing.
Because I've always been in a huge believer, because I know a lot of people who are atheist,
which is wild.
Boggles my mind. Yeah. Boggles my mind, and I have a science degree. I will argue with you till one of us dies that we were not a single cell amoeba that grew out of a slimy pond.
Come on.
Because there's too much coincidence in the human body that makes you think it just happened.
Right. Yeah, it's intelligent design.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yes.
It has to be because of the simple way that we work.
Right.
Is phenomenal.
Well, think about how complex the whole universe is. I did this exercise with my son actually last year. I said, look, man, I'm going to blow your mind a little bit. All right. It's like, you know what an atom is, right? You know, atoms, molecules, blah, blah. I said, let's start at the very basic building blocks of matter. So we went from atoms and walked all the way through, you know, atoms. You know, a group of atoms is molecules, right? A group of molecules becomes
right.
Organelles, and then organelles are, you know, make up cells,
right?
And cells make up tissues, and then tissues make. You know, so I went all the way through to an organism, to, you know, then a group of organisms, right? So like the planet, you know, human beings, right? Then you start working your way out through the cosmos, and I was showing him pictures of, you know, zooming out planet, solar system, galaxy, right? Galaxies, and then the observable universe. And he was like, wow, I never really thought about it like that, Dad. That, you know, he's like, yeah, there's no way this could be on accident.
No.
It's too complex.
Well, it is too complex.
But it's also simple.
Well, just the simple fact of the
way I think of it, it's simple. Like, it's simple for me to understand that this is intelligent design. That's what I mean.
Well, yeah, it is to me also, because it's just, like I said, it's there's too many coincidences involved in just a human being to have been a single. Because, you know, if we evolved from monkeys, then why the hell are there still monkeys?
Right.
Wouldn't they be turning into humans?
Right.
Well, it's a different species. No, I don't want to hear that.
Right.
I don't want to hear that at all. You know, and well, you know, we found this skull. Well, you found a skull of somebody who had a disease, somebody who had something wrong with them.
Right.
Like Portland, you know, a bunch of people over there that have something wrong with them. But, you know, you come over here to, like I said, to the Bible Belt, and you're in the South, and people are generally nicer in the South. I don't care. Dude.
Southern hospitality is a real thing, brother.
It is. Absolutely. It is. Absolutely. You go to Florida, it's just, if you go to Florida where the Republicans are,
yeah.
If you go to Georgia, you know, you stay outside of Atlanta, people are very nice in Georgia.
Yeah.
You know, you come over here. Now, it used to be they were all very nice in Nashville, but Nashville's now purple because as the people from Portland, Michigan, California. New York, California, as they destroy their blue states,
right.
They come over here and they bring their ideologies with them.
Right.
And I always associate them as locust. Yeah, they go where they're at and they destroy it. Then they move on. Then they destroy the next place. Then they move on again and they destroy the next place. And that's, to me, what liberals, and now we'll go with progressives. So that's a better term. We'll go, and that's what progressives do. Because 5, 6, 7 years ago, Nashville was full on red. Now it's purple.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just that recent.
Yeah. Because, dude, during the Biden administration, because everybody was escaping their disastrous blue states.
Yep.
And where do they go? They go to the free states.
Free places. That's right.
Yeah.
And then they bring their politics with them.
Yeah.
And their social issues.
You're right. And the one thing that they never, you know, you don't hear a lot about it, because everything's Texas, Florida, Texas, Florida, Texas, Florida. But we don't have a state income tax here either. So that's why there's so many people flooding into Tennessee right now.
That was one of my reasons for coming here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Whataburger, this is now their corporate home.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starbucks.
Yeah. Starbucks
going to Nashville.
They pulled the plug
because
in Seattle.
That idiot in Seattle, that socialist dirtbag they hired over there, another Mondami, never had a job, and somehow becomes the mayor of a multi-billion-dollar industry of a city, which is Seattle.
Right.
That idiot, because you know, they're wanting to raise the taxes on all the people in Seattle, and to all the billionaires, you know, you're gonna pay extra taxes. And the dude who owns Starbucks said, well, if you do that, I'm taking off. This moron gets on live news and goes, well, this is what I got to say to you. Bye. He said, okay, $100 million investment going into Nashville.
Wow.
Yeah. Absolutely insane. And just like Mondami, who goes up there, Ken Griffin, the billionaire up in New York, and does, as you know, when I was the mayor, I told you I was going to raise taxes, standing in front of his freaking house, Ken Griffin's, and mentions him by name. So Ken Griffin's like, well, you know what? Miami's looking better all the time. So when Ken Griffin goes, so does his tax base.
Right.
So you're so stupid. You're going to raise the taxes on these people. They're going to leave and take that $50 million tax base with them.
Yeah.
So now you're in a bigger hole than you were before you raised the taxes.
You know, I'm surprised Nike's, because their world headquarters is in Beaverton, Oregon, which is
I didn't know that.
Suburb of Portland. Yeah, their world headquarters. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Oh, man, I've been out there. It's a beautiful place. But I'm surprised they're still there.
Yeah. Well, Nike is full on liberal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Again, progressive. Because you got to remember, during the Biden years, Nike went full in onto the whole trans thing. I mean, they were full in. Yep. You know, had their little Nike, the little girl workout clothes that they were making for dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have on a pair of Nike shoes right now. I'm actually very anti Nike. The reason I have on Nike shoes is because during my job that I have now, I developed plantar fasciitis. Yeah. So right now, the only thing that I can wear is a specific brand of Nikes and a specific brand of Brooks.
Okay, we got to get you out of those Nikes, bud. I got a brand for you. We'll talk about offline.
Well, Asics has come out with some shoes that are very similar to Brooks, and because the Asics, they've always been a running shoe, but it wasn't a shoe for that. And so they've got a new shoe out now. Because Asics is actually what I've always worn, but I had to get something because when you have plantar fasciitis, one of the problems is the fat pad in your heel breaks down. So you're basically bone against skin.
Oof.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
And because of what I do, because I'm on my feet for so long,
right.
and I wear a lot of boots and stuff, which destroys your feet. So I've got these Nikes on, and I do have this Nike hat. Now, in defense of my Nike hat, okay, this one, in defense of this hat, I bought this hat, no shit. I bought this hat, in 1987.
Are you serious?
Yes.
He's in good shape.
I bought this hat
40 years old.
In 1987, I bought this on Rodeo Drive in California.
Wow.
This hat right here.
Wow.
I had 3 of them. The brown one is downstairs, and it is hanging together by a thread. And every time I wear that hat, people offer me money for it.
Really?
Because, seriously, because it's all beat up looking, and it's got holes in it.
They want that distressed look.
They want that distressed look. Funny. And you can't buy this particular Nike hat anymore. These are the vintage ones. You can't get them anymore. So I've had this since '87. This hat, this freaking hat.
You've had it on backwards the whole time. So I didn't realize it was Nike.
Yeah, it's a Nike hat, and that's all I own by Nike. I don't have any clothes. I don't have anything, and I only have. And so I bought these before Nike went DEI. So to me,
it's grandfathered.
Yeah, this hat's grandfathered.
All right.
The shoes are full DEI, but they're also very comfortable for my feet. So it's my feet.
So being in the military for close to 25 years, wore a lot of boots.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So same thing, man. I was, my arch was collapsed.
Yeah.
Plantar fasciitis real bad. So I went to, I just happened to see it. A guy was promoting it on his podcast. It's called Vivo Barefoot. I bought a pair of their boots and a pair of their,
Heard of them.
Yeah, they're a small company, but what it is, it's a 0 drop shoe.
Yeah.
So instead of having the heel raise,
yeah.
0 drop. And the toe box is wider, and the sole is really thin, so it makes your toes work independently, and it strengthens. It doesn't have an arch support.
Is this the thing you got on now?
No, those are the Vibram 5 fingers. These are also these do the same thing.
Yeah,
these are the same thing, same idea. But within wearing those those boots that I had and the running shoes, within a week it had fixed my arch. Felt good again. The pain went away on my toes, both feet, ankles, knees, hips. Everything started fixing itself within 6 months. I mean, I just felt so much better just by switching those.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a try. But I didn't know Nike was out in Portland.
Yeah. So the world headquarters, Adidas North American headquarters is also in Portland as well.
But they're so woke. Nike is
super woke,
and they're still woke. And it's and of course you hear the progressive. Well, I don't even call them progressives. I call them the Socialist Democrat Party of America, the DSAs. They are, woke are the smart people, and they don't see it as they wear woke as a badge of honor,
right?
Which is very odd to me, and because they're truly blind.
They've twisted it in their head.
They have, because how they cannot see, because they blame us for the failure of Bud Light. We're the problem.
Yeah.
It's not the fact that they put a trans guy on a can that company marketed strictly to manly men, and they hire one marketing lady who completely tanks that company in a day.
Dude, how much did they lose? It was something like
billions.
It was like 12 billion.
Yeah, it was insane. And they're still losing. I just read a thing. They did a big update that Bud Light, they never recaptured that part of the business back. And this is a topic for another thing. But they've got Liv, the gymnast, very good looking young lady. I can't remember her name, Liv something. Bud Light did a spot with her. And Miller did. And this guy wrote a big article, and he said Miller did the one thing Bud Light refuses to do. because Bud Light, now they're trying to, they're getting the Peyton Mannings of the world. They're doing this man, got to be a man. And this guy's like, hey, why don't you idiots just bring in Sydney Sweeney? Look what they did. Look what she did to American Eagle. I mean, their stock went up, 130% because of the one ad she did. But Bud Light never came back because of their one very woke mistake. And you would think that the liberals would understand. You think they would see enough of this to think, okay, this is a losing proposition. This is literally why they lost the damn presidency.
Yep.
This is why they lost it.
They're doubling down on their double down, and it's really...
But they're still doing it.
They're still doubling down.
Yeah. They're going to go back and die on this hill again over the same exact stupidity.
Just it's stubborn. It's
they're here. They're right here.
Yeah.
They can't see anything outside of their purview.
Yeah.
It's staggering to me. And being in Portland, and like I said, I need to go see my daughter. But I got to be honest. I'm like, what am I going to do when I get over there? Because these people are going to be like, I will literally have to put blinders on when I go over there, because I do believe that it is that liberal. And that's why I wanted to, talk to you, because dude, it's crazy liberal over there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Who's talking to you?
Oh, it was, it's my Apple Watch, man. Wow. She gave me a.
What, is she reminding you of something, or is just saying sweet nothings in your ear?
No, dude. How scary is this? It just recorded that entire segment that we were just talking about. How weird is that?
Whoa.
That is just bizarre.
So you must have voice prompted it to...
yeah, somehow. Well, we'll get into that in a second.
But what I was going to say, before we get away from the Bud Light thing, I saw this, I think Benny Johnson reposted this video of this guy. He's like, is it safe to buy Bud Light again? And so the guy, he goes up to casually grab a box of a Bud Light, and he instantly starts talking like this. And he's like, I don't, he's like, and then he puts it down. He's like, I don't know what just happened. And he's like, so his buddy's like, well, touch the Miller Lite box, see what happens. And then he goes back to his regular voice. He's like, oh yeah, no, all right, let's grab the Miller.
See, but that's marketing genius from a company that did not go full on woke.
Right.
Yeah. And Bud Light, they never apologized for what was that weird, Dylan Mulvaney?
Mulvaney. Yeah.
Yeah. They never apologized.
Yeah.
They never took any type of credit
and
for anything.
That kid is such a narcissist. Man,
oh my God, what a weirdo!
Soaking it up.
What a weirdo! Yeah. What a weirdo! I've never seen girls who act as stupid as him, acting like a girl.
Right. Yeah. It's so obnoxious.
Yeah, jumping around, flailing his arms up and down, just acting like a complete clown. But Bud Light never took ownership of any of that. And instead, they just said, we're going to change gears. We're going to become unwoke, and we're going to get all these football players, and we're going to do all these great ads that they could have gotten away with before they went woke, because that's what they used to do. King of Beers, Budweiser, Bud Light. Mm-hmm. But this guy's point was perfect. He said, why don't they just get Sydney Sweeney? Because you want to get a guy's attention, put a beautiful woman on the ad.
Right.
That's how you get their attention. And I agree with that. Because, if I'm watching TV and I see Peyton Manning and all them, I'll just click right through.
Yeah.
But, every time that American Eagle ad with Sydney Sweeney came on, I watched it.
Hey, man, we're a visual species. All right.
We are.
Can't take that from us.
No, you cannot. And I watched it every time, and I was like,
I'll watch it again.
That's a good ad. I may never buy their jeans or anything, but that was a good ad. And I thought that's just brilliant. And that was literally brilliant on their part. And now they've got, I can't remember her name, Liv something. What is this?
She's a gymnast?
Liv, yeah. It's just, it just brings up everything golf.
My phone's been listening to us. A Vivo Barefoot ad just came up. That shoe company I was talking about.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. They listen to you. Oh, no, Olivia Dunn. I'm sorry.
Olivia Dunn.
Olivia Dunn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who they got, Olivia Dunn. She's a good-looking girl.
Yeah.
And so they got Olivia Dunn. And
they know what they're doing.
Exactly. Yeah. And because, the best time to kick somebody is when they're down. Mm-hmm. And they're kicking the hell out of Bud Light right now. Kicking the hell out of them.
Hey, man, they did it themselves.
They did. So. They wanted to go woke, and they wanted to be, super. I don't know what they wanted to be. I guess they just wanted to be broke. I guess they wanted to be broke.
From woke to broke.
And that's a true thing. That is a true thing. Because, look at the hit Target took. You know,
oh yeah, oh man,
you know when they put their trans section up and they had the men's bathing suits,
dude, like
I mean,
the Tuck It line or whatever.
yes, that stupid
What in
shit.
God's name? Oh man, that was. I mean, it was hilarious at the same time, though. It's just like, is this serious? Like,
Well, it is serious, and you know, take Jaguar. Did you see the ad they came out with, their last ad? They had all the trans people on it, and then all the different colors of the rainbow flag, and they were, you know, change is coming. Well, these people are so stupid and so woke, they canceled all their ICE vehicles. No more internal combustion engines. They went full EV.
That's that they just committed suicide.
Exactly. And I got a podcast coming up, what it actually cost automakers, the Joe Biden EV mandate, what it actually cost. And not to get into that, but just so you understand where this is going, because it's kind of staggering. Because I've only done research on a couple of them so far. That's one thing about these, is you got to do a lot of research on a podcast. Honda Motor Company posted their first loss ever in the United States.
Wow.
First loss, $15.7 billion because of EVs. Now, Dodge, who's owned by Stellantis, what was it? Like $300 billion was the loss?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wait. 300 million? Or, because you said
oh, no, I'm sorry. 26 billion. Billion with a B.
Wow.
26 billion. Stellantis lost $26 billion in 2025.
Stellantis is the
owner of Dodge.
Okay.
Because of their EV mandate. Because one of Dodge's best cars, and did I write that down? I don't think I wrote that down. But one of their best selling cars was the Dodge Charger and the Challenger. You know, you get those big 392 V8s in them.
Oh, yeah.
They were massive.
And it's American muscle.
Yeah. 5 billion. Yeah, I don't think I
just
wrote.
The look of those cars is, I mean, they're classic, you know, American muscle.
Exactly. Well, they made the new one, which is EV, because there was no gas powered one. It was EV only, and it was staggering. They had like a 92% fall off in sales in 1 year because of the EV Dodge Charger that nobody wanted because it was fat, it was heavy. Car weighs like 5,800 pounds. Yeah, it's stupid. So what they did is to combat it, they're going to take their new, because they got rid of their V8s like idiots. They took their new Hurricane engine, which is an inline-six twin turbo, put it inside the Charger, but it's the Charger EV chassis. So, you know, and the way they designed it, because they got the battery in there, it has the really high floorboards and all that stuff in it, so it sits very odd. So they kept the same car. They just stuffed a 6-cylinder motor in it, and everybody who's tested the car said, this is literally the worst car I've ever driven. Wow. It's garbage.
Yeah.
And they lost $26 billion
That's crazy.
in 1 year.
That is crazy.
Yeah, and you would think that, like I said, go woke, go broke.
Yep.
And these cars, Ford, I think it was 8 billion, 9 billion Ford lost in 24.
Unreal.
I mean, in 25, 24, yeah.
Is that when they did away with the Mustang going straight? First of all, they turned it into like a crossover SUV thing, and made it fully electric.
And called it a Mustang.
Yeah,
that's
mind-boggling
to me. Yeah,
not a Mustang.
Mind-boggling.
Yeah.
They still make that, of course.
That was Ford's flagship. Car.
Yeah,
and I couldn't.
It's not selling for crap.
Yeah, it's not.
Well, they've already canceled the Lightning. Ford has.
The
EV truck.
Yeah, that thing's
gone.
I had an old boss that had one of those, and
they're turds.
Yeah, it's
stupid.
He told me how much he bought it for. He bought it brand new, of course. This was 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. He paid $122,000.
That's insane.
Insane for an F-150, bro.
That's insane. That's insane for something that you're going to put a $30,000 battery in the next 4 to 5 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because if you go to trade it with a dead battery, then your $150,000 vehicle is worth about $25,000.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
It's insane. It's stupid. And one thing that these people never realized is if you took we'll say a Chevy Lumina, just because it's something top of my head, which I don't think they make the Lumina anymore.
Yep.
But if you took a Chevy Lumina, what's the big car that Chevrolet makes? The sedan looking thing.
I'm going to say the Corsica.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Wow.
Well, you brought Lumina, so
old.
The Impala, maybe. Is that what you're thinking?
No, they haven't made the Impala in a long time.
There's the Cruise. I don't know.
They make the Cruise. Let me see if I can find this right now, because it is literally this car that I was reading the stats on. I don't want to find your inventory. Go away. Leave me alone. Nope. I don't want you to find a dealer near me either. And of course, this is going to be all, let's see here. It's all SUVs. Dude, the car market is dead.
It's crazy how expensive used cars are. That market is out of control.
Yeah. Well, it is. It's gone absolutely nuts. They, not one single car. Everything's a freaking SUV. Are you serious, bro? And I'm on the Chevrolet site. Wow. This is the actual Chevrolet website. Lumina?
I mean, that's old.
Is that an old car?
That's older. I mean, they made that thing for decades, but
more vehicles. We've got the Corvette, Equinox, Express. They may not even make this car anymore. Dude, this is every one of these. Besides the Corvette, there's not a single car on here. Not a one. And this is Chevrolet's website.
Chevrolet cars.
Is the Corvette the last car that they've got?
The Camaro. I got the Camaro still.
Oh, yeah. Well, they don't even have that on here. Well, I think the Camaro got axed. I think they're going to do a whole nother redesign on it and try to save it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that's another one. Man. Like it's not Chevy's flagship, but I mean, definitely a staple for them.
Yeah,
that'd be stupid.
But let's just say Lumen. I can't remember the name of the car, and but I watched these numbers on it, and this guy, he came out and did all the stuff. He said that the Chevy Lumina EV model created more carbon dioxide and future problems than having a Chevy Lumina gas car for 5 years. The EV created more carbon dioxide
in its production.
Yeah, because of the production, because of all the strip mining they got to do to get the stuff for the batteries out.
Pretty wild.
Yeah,
I've seen those stats before, like how much the carbon footprint for an EV.
Yeah, and now California, they're still, by 3035, we're going to be 100% EV. So you're going to pollute the planet more by having your EVs on a grid that you can't even keep the lights on now. Yeah. And you're going to make everybody have these EV cars that everybody's going to be plugging in. Because I don't know if you remember, it's 2022 or 2023.
The grid can't handle it either.
They were asking people not to charge their cars on like Tuesdays and Thursdays because of the rolling brownouts. And it just, this whole woke mindset is just, it's like they simply can't learn. But then you take places like Portland, these people, they see this, or New York or Michigan, they got to see what's going on.
Well, they think that, like, you got to break a few eggs, right? That whole idea, that they, in order to create their utopia, they must create the dystopia first.
They're all about the dystopia.
But they don't realize it, though. They think that they're working towards the utopia.
Well, the people don't, but the government does. I'm a firm believer that, socialism 101, keep them poor, keep them stupid.
That's right.
We're going to get very wealthy. You're going to be broke your entire life.
Right.
That is literally the blueprint for socialism, which is what they voted for in Seattle and what they voted for in, Mondummy, New York. The government, they know that, but the people, they see, the EV mandate, California, all these car companies lost billions, tens of billions of dollars.
Tesla's doing real good though, aren't they?
Well, Tesla's the only one because, Elon didn't come out on the whole woke wagon. He was just making a different car.
No, I know. Yeah.
And not to get into a different topic, I still think he needs to make a hybrid.
You think so?
Yeah. I think he needs to make a hybrid because I won't buy a Tesla, but I'd buy a Tesla hybrid. Yeah. I don't want to be halfway to Florida and have to stop somewhere for 14 hours to charge my damn car.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it, but I'd buy a damn hybrid.
Well,
I want a heartbeat.
And that's another thing, right? I heard somebody talking about this the other day that, I don't know if a conspiracy theory or whatever, but, getting everybody on this EV train to keep them in their smart cities, their 15-minute cities.
Yeah.
Because traveling long distances with an EV is hard to do.
Yeah. Nearly impossible.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think, I haven't seen any videos of people driving cross country.
I have.
Have you? And hitting all the charging stations and
they did was it Road and Track? It's on YouTube. They took a I don't think it was the Hummer, the EV Hummer. It could have been a Ford Lightning. They took the EV, and then the other truck was the Dodge Cummins diesel, and they were both pulling the same load. And you're like, we're going to go from here wherever they were at to Florida, and we're going to see how long it takes. That dude in the diesel had to fill up one time. They stopped 7 times to charge that EV.
Wow.
To get to Florida.
So he had like would he have like an extended tank on his
well, you know, you can get those Cummins with the dual tanks on them. You know, they'll hold 9 billion gallons of freaking fuel in them, man.
Right.
And, you know, once you get the Cummins on the open road, even with a load, the gas mileage isn't bad.
Right.
Yeah, because, you know, all the torque, it'll just motor along.
Right.
And he had to stop for gas. You know, once, it could have been twice, but they had to stop like 7 times to charge that. And the guy was talking, he's like, and he looks at the camera, he said, I could have been in Florida yesterday if not for this. So that's the point of getting the EV. But their goal is for people to not buy the EVs. We're going to put in the EV mandate. You're going to end up buying them, not buying it, because we're going to give away free bus, free this, free that, because they don't want you to have a car, because they don't want you to have freedom.
That's right.
And I think that's what's going to happen to all blue cities if something doesn't happen, because right now, LA has a chance to save itself. What's his name? Spencer Pratt, maybe? The guy that's running for mayor?
Yep, Spencer Pratt.
Spencer Pratt.
Yeah, they'd be stupid to not vote for him.
Yeah, they have a chance to save themselves right now. They have a chance to do it. But, and I was talking to some other people. I was on a political forum and we were chit-chatting. And I said, right now they have a chance to save themselves and get their city back on track. But they're so stupid, they will vote for worse. How do you go in Chicago from Lightfoot to Brown? How do you end up with a worse mayor than somebody who is the worst mayor in the country?
Yeah.
Unless you're gone.
Yeah.
You're lost.
And there's no coming back.
There's no light at the end of the tunnel.
No.
There's nothing.
No.
It's just a black void down there.
Right.
A big suck hole that's going to suck everything. It's going to suck your soul out of your body.
Yeah,
and that's
quite
what
literally.
it does. And then they complain. I just saw a thing a couple of weeks ago in Chicago. They were, you know, well, this mayor's not doing this. This mayor's not doing that. And the famous word of Ed Koch from New York, the famous words, my favorite quote ever. The people voted. They made their voices heard. Now let them suffer. And I agree.
Yeah, man.
I agree.
That's it.
100%.
That's it.
So,
was there anything else before we get too far away from Portland? Was there anything else you wanted to know about Portland?
No, I'm just kind of curious about the liberal mindset over there, because my daughter's like, well, it's not that bad. You know, of course, like I said, my daughter, you know, she's wicked smart. She works in a bar at night. You know, she's surrounded by college kids, and maybe she just doesn't see it because, you know, when you're surrounded by it.
It's a fish doesn't know it's in water. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I was just kind of curious about somebody who lived in Portland. Is it that woke and, you know?
So since I left, I will say this. I should have mentioned this earlier, but my buddy Cole, best man, he did say that they were going a little too far with their progressive politics. So a lot of people in Portland were liberals or people on the left were like, okay, enough's enough. I think we've gone a little too far here. And I think he's a part of that movement as well. And so I think they're trying to reel it in a little bit.
We'll see how it works.
And I think, you know, since everything's cooled down from the COVID, man, it was during COVID, that place was a zoo.
Don't even. That's a whole topic. Dude, I could talk for 3 days on that shit.
Oh yeah, when we've worn that whole thing out.
Yeah.
But I think everything's kind of cooled down since then, and I think they're starting to realize that, you know, maybe we need to reel this thing in a little bit. I hope so.
Well, I hope so too, because this is my fear is, and there again, not to get on this tangent, I understand what Trump is doing in Iran. I agree with that 100%. This should have been done 47 years ago under Carter.
That's right.
The shit should have been handled. Because if it had been handled then, we wouldn't be dealing with it today. And of course, you can't explain that to a Democrat. No matter how hard you try, they're never going to wrap their brain around it. This had to happen. Because if Iran gets a nuclear weapon, they will launch it on Israel.
They will.
Now, since the Democrats hate Israel with a passion for some odd reason, I mean, I can't wrap my brain around that. They would be okay with that. But what they don't understand is if we lose Israel, we've lost the only ally we have in a terror hub.
Yeah, they're surrounded by, 47 Arab countries?
Yes, and they all hate them.
They all hate them.
And Israel's our eyes and ears to everything going on over there as far as the people who are going to attack America.
As geographically, it's a very important part of the world.
Extremely important. Extremely important. So it kind of boggles my mind, you know, why they hate Israel so much and they beat up their students and they spit on them and all that. That's mind-boggling to me. But, you know, the party of acceptance and inclusion is truly the party of hate and piss off.
Right.
Get out of our way.
Yep.
Yeah, that's truly who they are.
Yeah.
But I fear that if Trump does not get this wrapped up and get the fuel prices back down by the end of June, that he's going to lose the midterms badly.
Yeah.
And then if he does that, then we're going to have 2 years of impeachment after impeachment after impeachment after impeachment.
It'll be a pile-on.
It is. It's going to be a pile-on. And now, hopefully, the only good that'll come out of that is people will go back, hey, I remember this under his first term when they all turned completely stupid. And so hopefully people will remember that. But if he doesn't get this wrapped up quick, I think it's going to be a bloodbath in the midst.
Yeah. I put some gas in the truck this morning, and I was like, holy cow, Super is, and this was at Fred Meyer, Kroger. I don't know why. Fred Meyer is a Portland.
Yeah.
Kroger. But anyway, $5.
Yeah.
$5.19 a gallon.
Yeah,
for Super.
I paid $3.99 at Costco.
Costco,
Which has cheaper gas than everybody.
Right.
Yeah, I paid $3.99 at Costco after the Costco discount. It wasn't this high under Biden.
No.
Now, I understand, and I was talking to, again, on these political forums, I said, I would rather deal with a little bit of pain now to save us in the future.
Yes.
I'm okay with it right now,
right.
But I'm not okay with it for that long.
Mm-hmm.
Something needs to start.
It's going to start hurting.
Yeah.
Real bad.
Yeah. Because, I have a Jeep Rubicon, a Gladiator. And when I'm spending, $70 to fill up my Jeep, and you got a full size truck, yours is probably $100 to fill that up.
Dude, yeah, $100.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, it's gotten insane.
And I'm supposed to use premium with that motor.
Really?
Yeah.
In that truck?
Yeah, in that truck. Supposed to. So, I'll do every third tank.
What motor's in it?
It's just a 5.3, but that's the recommended is to use premium.
In the V8?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't.
Every third tank. So every third tank.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'm going to lose my ass and just paying, filling that thing up in gas.
Yeah, just drop some sea foam in it every once in a while. You'll be fine. That shit's good for your motor.
Okay.
All right. So I just want to find out about Portland, and I guess now we know.
Yeah. Well,
progressive.
the progressive Mecca, man.
Progressive Mecca.
Yeah. But you know what, man? All that said, Portland's my hometown. I still got, a lot of good friends and good memories there.
Of course.
It's always going to be dear to my heart, but I will not be moving back there. That's for sure.
Welcome to the land of the free.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I love it here.